Hey, welcome back. So, I have a different angle for you today because it really is bad to record in that corner because I have this really huge window and it's really nice, but it's so bright that it kind of messes. So I have to face it, I think, and make it more even. I don't like that I can't show you my Anna Karenina poster, but I have my Zelda picture, you could see. So the lighting should be good today, so you could see this nice pimple all right up close and bright. Today, I'm going to do the podcast that I mentioned a while ago. I'm going to record it tomorrow. That's the plan. So basically, I'm going to practice answering the questions, because she sent me the questions. It's called Social Anxiety Bestie Podcast. If anybody's watching this, you should listen to it, because if you're watching me, then you would definitely appreciate her. I don't know, hopefully this sounds okay. It seems like it might be weird again, but I don't know. So yeah, I don't know, sometimes I get this thought, I just feel weird about, I don't know, I feel weird about everything, but just doing, if I don't have anybody to talk to about this stuff, so what I'm going to practice saying now, I've never said to anybody else before. I've only ever probably said it here, maybe once or twice. So I need to practice saying it, because if you interview a normal person, they talk to people all the time and they're saying what they're going to say on the podcast to people they meet. Oh, I met this person and I talked to them about this thing. I never talk about this with anybody else, so I just do it here. So I need to practice here. I don't know, sometimes I feel self-conscious about that, but whatever. So the first question is, can you tell us about yourself and what made you start social anxiety gaming? Good question. Actually, I don't have any notes for this question, so let's just answer it as quick as possible. Let's just bing, 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 because I feel like the other questions might take longer. Can you tell us about yourself? Let's give my whole life story. I don't know. Well, I can maybe tell that story about the first time I heard the term social anxiety, because I do feel like that's kind of a little bit interesting. Because a big thing about social anxiety that a lot of people experience is they don't know they have it. They just think they're shy and they're weird, and they don't realize it's this anxiety thing. So the first time I actually heard the term, I was in 10th grade, and we were doing a project in school. We read Catcher in the Rye, and one of the assignments the teacher gave us was diagnose Holden Caulfield with a disorder or something. Go on WebMD and figure out what's wrong with this guy. One of the things I found was social anxiety disorder while I was searching that. And I remember looking at it and being ooh, this is me. Maybe there is I guess I kind of knew there was probably something wrong with me or just different. And I didn't have a term for it until then. And it's kind of crazy because at that point, I realized that I had that, but I didn't do anything about it for 10 years. You know what, I kind of want to start further back. Just real quick life story. This is why I have to practice. As a kid, very quiet, shy, all this stuff. But I think as a kid, from 0 to 13 or 14, I don't think I had any more anxiety than a normal kid. A normal kid, they're worried about, oh, I don't want to do the wrong thing, and I don't want to, the teacher calls on you, and oh, I'm kind of nervous. You go up and do a presentation, and you're kind of nervous. I just had normal nervousness. I think I was introverted, and so given the opportunity to either be around, at a group of people or not, I would always kind of just be oh, I think I am super introverted because I think just being at school and then going to soccer or doing music or whatever totally drained all the energy I had. When I was done, I just wanted to go home. I didn't really want to hang out with anybody. So then over time, I just didn't have any friends in middle school and in high school. And then you don't have friends, you're not talking to, you're not being social. Then you get anxiety whenever you have to be social because you're like, I don't know what to say. I don't have any practice doing this. And then, so high school, no friends. College, no friends. Because I always was just, yeah. Does that make sense? So yeah, it is kind of amazing that I didn't try to do anything. The first thing I did ever to help me at all was the first year out of college. I got this new job, and I think I was kind of feeling like I had to answer a phone, and I had to talk with people in the office, and I was just awful all the time, and it felt terrible to be like that. So I was like, what do I do? I guess at that point I thought, well, I have a lot of thoughts. I don't know, I could just keep talking. I thought, well, okay, I can't see a therapist. That was always a thought in my head, well, you can't, because it involves another person and you can't talk to people. So the first thought I had was, on your way home from work, record a voice memo and just practice talking. And I don't know, part of that was there's a lot of reasons I started doing that. One was because, I didn't like my voice, and I kind of heard somewhere that, everybody hates their voice, obviously, but if you listen to it back over and over again, you get used to it. And so I just wanted to get used to my voice. I didn't want that to hate it. And it did work, by the way. The second thing was practice talking. I never talk about anything. And there's a component to, that I understood somehow that, thoughts are different from talking. You can think all the time, but when you have to say something, if you haven't said it before, you can't say it. Part of that might be anxieties. You don't feel comfortable saying something that you've never said before. So just say it out loud, and then you have the words that you can say next time in a situation. So those were the reasons that come to mind that I started the voice memo thing. I did that I still kind of do it, but I started in 2016, once a week for half an hour. And sometimes I did it a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. Okay, then the gaming. There's a fly in here. Ugh. Gosh darn it. Where do these flies come from? So then I think I probably would have started doing the YouTube thing a little bit sooner if I didn't live with my parents. So I lived with my parents until I was 25, and I wasn't going to record anything around them. To have them hear me recording a YouTube thing, that was never going to happen. So I kind of had the idea to do it once I found an apartment when I was 25 or 26. And I moved out, and then 2 months after I moved into the new apartment, I started recording for the first time. And it was an extension of, I think the reason why I started that was, it was just an exposure thing. Just this, it's a way to creep towards normalcy. You put something on YouTube that's and it was extremely hard. The first time and the first year I recorded videos and I posted them, even though nobody watched ever, and nobody still watches. Dalton, you watching? How are you doing? You're not nobody. So I recorded the first video. And I guess I just kind of thought that would help with the anxiety. Just okay, you're anxious to just put it on the internet, and it'll be fine. Nobody will watch, and then that will help you. Tiny bit of progress, tiny bit of exposure, and just kind of creep up to whatever you're working towards. Like, I don't know, I just have this thing in me that's like, just ever since I started the voice memo, it's just like beep, 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 beep. Okay, this is way too long. This is only the first question. Oh, God. So, okay, does that answer your question? I don't know. Improv as a tool for dealing with SA. Okay. So, yeah. I've only been doing the improv for about a month. But, like, the first week there, I was there, or, like, the second week I was there, I realized how helpful it could be to me. And, maybe it's just, like, I don't know if all improv is the same, or, like, this is just this one guy's philosophy or something. But everything he said was a good perspective to have for someone with social anxiety. So, a couple examples, like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know if really I want to focus on, like, the advice he gave. Like, so the tenets that he has is, like, focus on your partner, and so part of that is, like, which I do like, viewing conversations as building something together. So, like, you bring a brick and you put it down, and then you step back, and then the other person brings a brick and they put it on top, and then you put a brick where they put their brick, and then eventually you build something together, the conversation. I like that idea of just, like, all you have to do is just bring something, just say it, put it there, and then it's them, and then you build off whatever they say. So I could talk a lot about those, like, tenets of the improv that guy brought up, but it is more just like a feeling of when you're doing it. The main thing, I guess, is, like, that was kind of a revelation while I was doing it. Is like, why does this feel different? So whenever I've ever been social at all in a conversation or anything, I've always felt like I'm alone, and, like, I have to think of something to say, and I have to be interesting, or I have to be smart, or I have to say whatever I'm supposed to say. It doesn't feel that way when you do improv. It feels like you're, I guess I'm just describing, like, if you've ever had a friend, this is what, like, having a friend is like. It felt like we're on a team, and our goal is to create something. So, like, we're working together, like, so you can't say anything wrong. Anything you say is, the other person has to use it. So you can't say anything weird or wrong or bad. Say anything. Say something racist. I don't know. Say the worst thing ever. And then the other person reacts to it like, oh my God, you said something crazy. And then it's like, well, I didn't say it. It was, like, the character that I'm playing. And we're making, like, a funny thing. Like, oh, this character's so racist or something. So I think that's why I'm at the point now where, like, I can't really... I'm trying, and it does help a little bit. I'm trying... I wanted to kind of talk about... I have a lot to say. The improv membrane that you're in, I've noticed it, like, a couple times. When I go and I do the improv, like, anything I say when I'm in improv is, like, I can say anything, and it's fine, and it feels comfortable. But then there is, like, a threshold that you cross when you walk out of the place, and you're, like, kind of... Because it happened once where I was leaving, and, like, I was being all improv-y and normal, and then we were leaving for the day, and someone held the door open for me, and I was all like, ooh, I don't know, ooh, I'm gonna thank you, ooh. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's me. And I noticed a shift right when I was leaving. So I guess the goal is kind of to expand the membrane to cover the whole world. I don't know. So yeah, I think I'm gonna split this into 2 videos. So I'll say see you tomorrow, and I'll put this at the end of the first video and at the end of the second video. And I'm looking forward to the podcast. I don't know. Hopefully I do okay. And see you tomorrow.